Good morning, everyone. I just want to go into 3 trade recaps this week that was able to bring me in right around 300 pips. I only took 3 trades this week. Well, I took a couple more based off of the same kind of ideas, just, retracement entries and whatnot. But 3 main trade ideas that I think my pip count is somewhere around 330 pips for the week. So I just wanted to go into those 3 main trade ideas. It doesn't take a lot of trades, guys. That's what the main thing that if you can learn something from me, just remember that it does not take a lot of trades per week to collect a good amount of pips. And really, if you can consistently just grab, 50 pips a week, not even that. If you could just consistently grab pips per week, over time as your account grows, as your position sizing grows, that profit's going to add up substantially. And that's the one thing that I think some people don't realize with trading is, these pips that I'm catching, they're fractions of the movement. They're fractions of cents movements within the currency. So I mean, it's not a lot of movement. It does not take a lot to profit in the forex market substantially, with proper position sizing, as your position sizing increases over time with your account, as your account's increasing. So let me get into these trades real quick. So first one was USDCHF. We're on the 4-hour chart. You can see strong uptrend. We had a kind of a pullback here that broke this, pullback. As we were pulling back, we broke out of this kind of trend line here, or counter trend line that was maintaining price. Broke that pretty impulsively, established a range. You can see got 2 taps on top, 2 taps on bottom, and then broke that range last week. So what I was looking for was a retracement entry, and you can see, if we connect our highs at the time, well, we had put in a new high after we broke out, but if we connect this high with kind of the highs of the range, you can see a little area here that I had kind of established as a pretty decent area to maybe enter. There was some confluence there as well. I had this little wiki area marked as kind of an entry, potential entry zone. Let me just delete that. It's getting a lot of things. So you just kind of build out your trade fib wise. We had that 50% retracement and that 61.8 fib retracement. I was feeling a little bit more confluence in and around here, so I went ahead and entered right there. Took a little bit of drawdown at the end of the day, about 30-40 pips or so. But my stop was just below this here. It was about a 60 pip stop. So if you look at the daily chart, we kind of had a pretty bearish looking emergence off of the retest of these highs. So I didn't want to try and take this all the way back up or even higher because of this. This could very well be a double top. So I was just kind of looking for a quick pop out of this area here. I do have targets kind of up higher, maybe around 1.03, 1.04, if we can break above these highs. But I'm not going to just try and buy here and hope that it's going to break this. That's kind of wishful thinking. You never know what's going to happen. This could just start establishing a higher time frame range, right? So we have a high here and a low. We've retested that high, put in some pretty bearish looking presence there. There's nothing to say this isn't going to tank down and start establishing a larger time frame range, right? So I was just looking for a quick pop out of those levels, and you can see my entry was, let me find it here. right here. I actually entered on the wick down here of this big green candle, which looked really nice at the time, but didn't get any follow through. Actually, this was kind of the stronger magnet level down here. So entered right here. Delete that. Right in here as price was testing these levels. Initially had a nice pop off of that, but then finally went down. Again, like I said, my stop was down here, and I just took it off for 1-to-1, just because of what I just talked about. This could potentially be a higher time frame, range setting up. But so I didn't want to hold through all that mess. So let's see here. It's about, no, it wasn't 70 pips. It was 60, about 60 pips worth of risk, and that's exactly what I took off. So just about a 1-to-1 as price was coming up into these levels here. Took it off for about 60 pips. Next one I want to get into is Euro USD. Same kind of thing, higher time frame range, and as you can see price pushed down substantially from these highs earlier on in the year, and has since kind of established its own range, right? You can see the price confinement is between these two areas, but there was enough confluence in and around here for me to warrant a short entry back down maybe to around that range low. In addition, so we have that main trend line that was kind of chopped around here, but we had squeezed once we kind of popped above it. We squeezed, you can see the higher lows and lower highs, and then we broke back below it, and in doing so we kind of broke this counter trend line here. If you can see, sorry, I got a lot of stuff going on here. Let me just delete all these extra ones. So we broke this one, remember that squeeze, came back down. So I was looking for a confluent entry in and around this area, which again I entered right here as price was testing these levels right in here. Took a little bit of drawdown, stop was up here, so that was roughly, I think, about 50 pips is what I had on this one, so a little bit above that. And then I took it down to just the retest of these lows here. So this was right around a 100 pip trade for me, so that was nice. And then GJ was the last trade of the day, or the big trade of the week. So daily chart, you can see just kind of a squeeze here, higher lows, lower highs, and then broke out, retested it once, and then put in kind of a higher low than this low, and we pushed back up and retested that. So that's what I was looking for. You can see that retest there. This was the high of last week, and that was kind of what I entered on. Once we pushed up, filled those levels, I missed this opportunity to short there, but I got in on a retracement entry at, let's see, on the hourly chart you can see it a little bit better. Let's see, so pushed up, filled these levels here, came back down, and came back up into some confluence. You can see fibs, remember highs of last week were there, and then we had this kind of little zone that I was looking at. So I entered in and around here somewhere. I don't remember. It was the first test, and price just kind of trickled around, went up above, back up to 149. My stop for this one was above that high, so 148. I want to say 148.85 was my entry, something like that. So this was about a 50 pip stop as well. Target wise, I had 147 in mind, because that's been a key level for me in the past. So I took that off, held through this kind of big wick, 100 pip candle here, and then we finally pushed down to in and around 147. I actually took it off as price was just coming into all this little trend line confluence here. didn't want to try and squeeze every last little bit. Eventually had a little quick retrace, which actually caught coming out of 147. Nice little 30 pip trade, I think, is what I grabbed. Nice little day trade, which put me over 300 pips for the week, and then back down to finally kind of slam back down through 147. So those were the 3 trades this week. Again, like I said, it doesn't take a lot of trading opportunities to really bring in some nice pips and profit for the week. So take care, guys. Trade safe. Plan those trades. These were all pre-planned trades. I had my eyes on this one. You know, all 3 of these at the end of last week. So they took a day or 2 to execute. So, you know, don't always just jump into it if price isn't doing what you want. Just sit tight. Wait for, you know, the market to kind of show you what it wants to do. It's not shy about, you know, showing you what its intentions are. So take care.